The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion, we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does stop, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
All right. Pleasant afternoon for us in Canada and in Jamaica. Right, in some places it's early morning, right? Some places night, right? So we are saying, blessings to all the persons who, right, visiting Mystic Sensation as usual. We want to say a big thanks. Today we'll be flying solo, but rest assured, right, your pilot can manage. All right, Melting Pot has been taken up with other tasks, right? So you will see Melting Pot on the evening show. So Melting Pot, anyway, them my boss, big up yourself, right? Wife is at work today, so I will be the only person managing, right, the entire flight. And of course, I am confident in terms of, flying, right, take off, and have a proper landing. All right. First and foremost, I want to go to the chat and, of course, big up all the persons, right, in the chat. Let me start from the beginning. All right. Of course, we have Beverly 975, right, to Mystic and Family, enough love. Same to you, Beverly. Carla Ibanks, right? Bless up, Carla. Blessings, YZK3. Blessings, everyone. Yes, last night the Titans abruptly ended last night. Couldn't find the live feed now stream. Well, that feed is up now, apparently. The problem I was told was a video that was, being displayed. And so then I think Brother Lonesome had started that out. And so then that particular clip is up now. So for anyone who want to view it, it is now available, right? Okay, so that happened from time to time, right? We have Denham Stennett, bless up yourself. Rady Swaby, Patel Krushank, right? Lindell McCormack, Troy Brown, Levina Miles, Lindell McCormack, right? Leona McLean, Maureen Vassell, bless up herself, Maureen. Fiona Burnett, right? Good evening, Mystic Sensations, blessings always. Same to you, my dear. And of course, Pamela Okolo, right? She don't leave us alone, right? She always with us. Bless up yourself, Pamela, right? Ardent followers, all of the persons who have called already, they are all ardent followers, right? Byron Powell, my namesake, bless up myself, right? And Veronica, right? Greetings, Mystic. Happy New Year. Same to you, Veronica, right? And of course, that's it. Byron, Pamela said, Byron, we have confidence in you, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Florence Denim, blessings, Mystic and chat. All right. Jamaica, I want to start out in saying, we really hope for the best in terms of, this new year, right? And, for people to just, rise beyond certain situation, particularly as it relates to the passing of Hurricane Melissa. One thing I know for sure, that our Jamaican people, I tell you, right? I honestly believe that Jamaica is the heartbeat of the globe. It's a living melting pot, right? And it's the hub of the globe in terms of cultural interactions, and so much powerful energy. A small little island that measure, I think, what, 4,411 square miles, right? And this little island, believe you me, is the spice of the Caribbean and spice of the globe, right? I honestly, I don't know for others, but for me, I really honestly proud to be a Jamaican and love my Jamaican people. And this is why we are fighting hard, right, to save Jamaica. If we could only get it right, my Jamaican people, if we could just only get it right as it relates to getting rid of corruption, right, and have good leaders, believe you me, I guarantee you, in terms of me saying this, right, which I know is 100% true, if we could just get the corruption right, Jamaica would have been better than Singapore. Better than Singapore. We have more resources than Singapore. And as a Caribbean island, right, in terms of other Caribbean islands, that is, their economy is doing better than us, right? The Barbados, the Trinidad, right, and the Cayman, right? We have so many rich resources that we can depend on, but we have been failed as a result. Let me say this, I am not being, try to, be political or, exaggerating the facts here. If we were to have a People's National Party as it relates to its philosophy, democratic socialism, and not having a GLP in terms of the setback that GLP had done to our political history, setback in terms of our economy. No, we are not, look here, we are not telling lies, right? We are speaking the truth because we have the evidence. If we did have a political process and just not having the Jamaica Labour Party, we would have far away, probably would be a giant in the Caribbean, It is so sad, so sad, so sad. We would be a giant in the Caribbean, and God knows it is true. God knows it is true. Jamaica Labour Party, right, in terms of what Edward Philip George Seaga had done, the wickedness and the vindictiveness in terms of, working with the CIA to damage democratic socialism and, double down with his wickedness, right? After Michael Manley set the standard in terms of making education free, right, from basic to tertiary level, right, what he had done, and then he has to come out and apologize. His apology unaccepted. He hurt the nation. He hurts the nation. And as we see now, as it relates to the worst that it ever can be, to have the Andrew Holness led administration doing what they are doing, I can't come here and endorse, right, as it relates to the lies that they have been telling. And this platform is not going to endorse that, right? The fact of the matter that we have to deal with as it relates to civil society, right, that need to understand this, well-thinking people, that we can't have a prime minister. I don't know how we are trying to just, you understand? I mean, we can't sugarcoat it. We can't sugarcoat it. We're going into a new year and we are carrying the level of toxicity straight with us from 25. As a matter of fact, from 2016 to now. It's dangerous. Andrew Holness administration is dangerous to our success. Right? And I just can't emphasize it. Right? I mean, anymore. It is just to a particular level where it is just, you know, I mean, you can see the evil is extended arm, reaching into the criminal justice system, corrupting the criminal justice system. Oh my God. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So my people, we are going to begin the program. And goes to the fact in terms of when we talk about we are under the spell of a wicked leader. One of the first subject matter that I want to speak about this morning is the situation with the 4-year-old child, right, who had been killed in his home. So I'm asking myself, even last night, I'm just thinking about it, and I am saying, if our children, if our babies are not safe in their home, let us talk about this. If our babies are not safe in our home, where else are they going to be safe? A government who said he heard the babies crying, right? And as according to him, being sympathetic to the baby that he heard crying. And I'm asking Andrew Holness, right? Have you heard the 4-year-old baby? You can't, obviously, you will not able to hear him crying because your administration killed him. We have been warning you about the behavior and the conduct of these security personnel. And I am not going to paint this with a broad brush because we have good and decent police officers. So for those police officers who are listening to me this morning, I am not painting the situation with a broad brush here. Right? I am spear fishing. I am not net fishing, I'm spear fishing. So I'm talking for particular those who believe that, their life depend on the trigger and they are so trigger happy. We don't have that 4-year-old person here with us anymore. That could be a potential prime minister. That could be a potential doctor. I want you to look and realize what you have done. He's a human being that has the potential to be whatever he wants to be. The person who you killed, that 4-year-old that you killed, could be one of our most powerful, influencer that would impact us in a positive way. When we think about an Einstein, and when we think about some of the greatest, they were babies. We couldn't tell then, right, as it relates to Einstein being a baby or the greatest of minds being a baby, what they are going to be. But the passage of life take them, shape them, and, deliver their talent to us to fix what need to be fixed. Research, technology. They were babies. They were babies. Andrew Holness, you were a baby. So I want to speak to you because I am going to bring something in terms of your response, the security force response to the death of the 4-year-old child. And I am saying, why are you going there? Why are you trying to now protect the shooter of this crime? I'm going to bring up the paper and let the people see it. So I am saying to the fact that the effort that you guys are putting now to protect the shooter of the crime by putting this house in the center of the fire, crossfire, it is not the facts that you're speaking. And you don't realize that you're hurting the parents, you're hurting the family much more when you put out a statement like this. I'm going to show you the statement that you put out. I totally disagree with it because it is disingenuous. At what point, Andrew Holness, you are going to look into yourself because you control all this process and say, no, this is wrong. This is fundamentally wrong. The police response to this is wrong. Come on, it's wrong, man. Look into yourself. It's best if you own the situation. Be responsible. Own up to the situation. And see how best you can compensate the family. Because properly speaking, the family cannot really compensate it. It's a life that has been taken. And there is no value that you can put on a life. That's a life. That's a human life. You don't put a value on human life. But to mitigate the hurt, you could try your endeavor best to let people show you how responsible you are. But you chose not to do it. So I'm going to share the information which I'm so disappointed when I got up this morning and I saw the response coming from the police. Right? And I said, no. So now then you are now shifting, right, the blame to say, okay, all right, because the way how you put this report, the way how you guys shape this report is to say now you cannot tell, right, who shot the child, who caused the child death. And the way how you put the report, you are running away from responsibility. So what is going to happen now? Let me just ask you, Andrew Holness, what is going to happen? The family is going to bear the brunt of just losing their child in their home, Think of what I'm saying to you. And the government is not going to be responsible to even compensate. That's where you're going. You can't be doing that. That's a fundamental wrong. That's a fundamental wrong, Andrew Holness. And you have sons. You have 2 sons. And let me ask you, Andrew Holness, if one of your sons would caught up in something like this, wouldn't you want justice? I know you would. I know you would. And you'd go to the length and breadth to have justice done because it is your son. So then that level of empathy is just not there with a narcissist. That level of sympathy and empathy is just not there. Because if it was your son, you'd have wanted justice to be done. And all persons who are trying to pull away the responsibility from the police, right? It is wrong. Umbrella Group of Church, where are you? You are going to be dead silent. And you know why you're going to be dead silent? Because Andrew Holness is sponsoring you. This is what we're talking about. And this is why we're showing you up. You're going to be dead silent. Where is your voice on situation like this? Where is your voice? I have done the research myself, and I'm going to show you again that they cannot shift from this situation. Because last night I spoke about house clearing And I'm going to show John Public that yes, the Jamaica Constabulary Force have a program that deal with house clearing and persons who are specially trained in this particular area. That method was not utilized. Was not utilized. But what you're planning to do now, you're planning to stay away from the situation because you know it's a bad situation. Hold on. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Hello? Yes. Because you know it's a bad situation. And so then what you're planning to do now? No, the government can't own this. If we own this, right, we're going to have to be responsible. You got to be responsible because you are responsible. It is just plain and simple. You are responsible. And the family needs to be compensated. You can't go around to try to avoid this. No. And for any person who know that lady, I would like that lady to call me. Right? For persons, right, who know that lady, and you can ask that lady to get in touch with Mystic Sensation, because I am going to help that lady, help that family, direct to the path of justice. You can't push them off like this. You can't push them off like this, Andrew. And I'm going to show the public as it relates to what we are dealing with in terms of your response, right, to the situation, the Jamaica Constabulary Force response. It is wrong. It is a fundamental wrong. You need to take back that response, right? Because number one, where the shooting occurred, right? Investigators need to go there, right? And have an understanding as to where the shooting specifically occurred. And then you don't try to put the house where the child died in the middle of the fire to say, oh, all right, gunman firing from there and you are firing back and so forth. Number one, you are carrying, let me say that, let me show you that in terms of what you're doing, right? What is a fundamental wrong with that? You carry high-powered weapon. You carry an M16 rifle, which is very, very lethal, extremely lethal. And you shouldn't be firing, you understand, in a developed area like that with an M16. So that's a fundamental wrong. No matter how you push it, and no matter how you say it, and no matter how you shape it, you are not going to get away from this. You shouldn't be firing, right, just sporadically, right, randomly in a developed area where you have families in their homes. The police cannot, the soldier cannot be just firing like that. While a gunman can fire wild and so forth and so forth, the lawman has to fire responsibly. That is your training. That is your training. You can't have a developed area in a community and you're firing M16. Do you know the reason why the M16 was first created? The M16, right, doesn't created in terms of firing in developing communities. It is a war machine. The M16 is a war machine. And so then, if you notice first world countries as it relates to their policing, do you see them with police with M16 in developed communities? Think Andrew Holness in terms of what I'm saying to you. Do you see the American police, right, having bandu, all things over them face? You understand? Police behaving like that in civilized country, in first world country? No. That's why they always critique the third world behavior of our politicians. Whenever they are making some example, they will always say, we are not like third world. Why do you think they are saying it? Why do you think that they are saying it, Andrew Holness? when they are saying that we are not like third world because your behavior is primitive. Right? The behavior is primitive. Let me just take this call.
Good afternoon, Miss Nick.
Blessed afternoon, my sister.
Oh, my brother, I hear your pain. And it's painful all over the world what we have witnessed in the news and that mom pain of losing that minor child.
It's very painful, my sister. I tell you, last night, I don't even get to sleep because it just hung over my head. Right? And I am saying, I said to myself last night, then if the child cannot be safe in his home, where the child is going to be safe when Andrew Holness in the same time his administration is talking about how crime being reduced to 40% and all these madness.
And let's focus on this child and the situation. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't. What came out on the news from the government, it doesn't address the fact that in a situation like this, where civilians are in their home, it doesn't matter whether it is gunmen and infiltrate these people home or run into it, or there's an altercation with killers and gunmen or whatever they're saying, and the police and them is engaged. For as long as their civilian is involved, where there is home, any person, any caring government or security forces trained to de-escalate situations like these to protect the public or the citizens, or we say civilians, that must be adhered to. That protocol must be in place right away, because one gunman, two gunmen should not be the cost of lives, innocent lives, mistake.
So important.
That's
and
the government with moral,
and I love how you're kind of
empathy, compassion for its citizens.
Let me show you. Stay on the line, sister. Stay with me on the line. I'm going to show you something in terms of the police response. Look at this. I want you to look at this. And I want all my persons in the chat to really look at this response. Look at this response that they are pulling away from the responsibility. Look at this response. And this hurt me to the core. This, when I saw this morning, I said, what? What is this? What is this that they are saying? Look at this, my sister. 4-year-old dies after being shot during fatal firefight between gunmen and police in Granville, St. James. You see you see what they did as it relates to the headline here? Hear what it says, you know?
Yeah.
The headline is telling you that they put the house where the child died right in the center of the fire, you know? And that is not what happened, you know? Here it is. 4-year-old dies after being shot during fatal firefight between gunmen and police in Granville, St. James. When you get into the detail, listen to the detail. The JCF said police went to the area in response to illegal gun salutes being used to celebrate the new year. The first paragraph, right, is disingenuous. Because when you said the police went to the area in response to the illegal gun salute being used to celebrate the new year, the location where the child died is not the location, you understand, where the gun salute took place. You see how they kind it? Look how they kind it.
Yeah.
The JCF said police went to the area in response to illegal gun salutes being used to celebrate the new year. Now read on. Look, the police reported that 2 gunmen were fatally shot during the exchange and that a high-powered rifle was seized. So them generalize this, you know, them break it down and tell you where this took place, you know, that it was a distance away from the home where the child was killed, you know. Them not tell you that, you know, them not generalize that. Now, look at this now. They also said a 68-year-old woman was injured in the incident and taken to hospital for treatment. So the grandmother of the child, this is the grandmother of the child that they are talking about, you know. But the way they kind it, you understand, is to say this take place, right, in the middle of the gunfire between gunmen and police. And even so, the police would be wrong. The police cannot shoot M16, fire M16 in a developed area like that. Cannot. Now look at this. In a media release today, the JSF explained that the shooting took place shortly after midnight on Thursday, January 1st, 2026, as members of the security forces acted on intelligence and reports of illegal gun salutes, despite repeated public warning against the practice. It said members of Giant Police military team responded to a report of explosions and gunfire in the Browns Lane area of Granville, St. James. Okay. Now, the Browns Lane area in Granville, St. James, right? Now, when you put the entire lane, remember, you know, you have several homes along the lane. Several homes along the lane. So investigators should go into that, right, and see where the actual shooting took place as it relates to the unalive of two other men, to show you that it was quite a distance. But don't generalize the whole thing, because when you speak of the lane like that, right, you may have 15, 20 homes, right, within a lane space. Now, according to police, preliminary information indicates that a group of individuals had gathered in the community and were in possession of prohibited firearms, allegedly with the intention of conducting illegal gun salutes. The police further reported that upon arrival, the security forces came under gunfire from armed individuals in the area. They said the team took evasive action and returned fire. Just imagine it. Look at this. The police further reported that upon arrival, the security forces came under gunfire from armed individuals in the area. They said the team took evasive action and returned the fire. All right. Since they said that, me as an investigator, right, would like to know the angle or have an understanding of the angle from which the police approach, and which, as it relates to what they are saying, that they were fired at, and they repeat the fire. So then, based on what they said here, was the house where the child been killed in between, right, that statement that they made? So investigators need to go in based on what they are saying here to say, okay, where did you approach the scene from? Did you approach the scene from the east, approach the scene from the west, from the north, from the south, right? And where did you fire, and when did you, at what point, you understand, you were fired upon, right? And then where the house locate in terms of where the child been killed. And then you will see that, okay, that shooting wasn't necessary.
But the thing is, the eyewitnesses and the news and the blocking of the people and blocking the road and protesting.
Yes.
We listen to those who were like we hear from the eyewitnesses of what happened, saying that even when they were returning fire, they were screaming and saying, "There's a child. There's no gunman in here." They tell the woman to go back inside and keep firing. Now, what I'm saying, and I agree with you, Mystic, because if you can, their statement said they get a understanding that there are people breaking the law, gun salute and whatever.
Yes.
And they get to that area as security. They are trained security. Now, when they get there, they said they came under fire. Why would you return fire if you came under fire when they are into a community?
A developed community.
Houses,
a developed community.
Homes.
Firing M16.
What's going on? They need to
It's
follow
madness.
the de-escalation protocol. And you know what they do? We know what they should do, and they know what they should have done. They should have backed off, and then they do, you know, the what we call pinnacle. You go in systematically, strategically, because you already get fire, so you know where they know. So when you start return fire, they did not protect the civilian, because gunman is gunman, civilian is civilian, innocent people is innocent, and that's the result now of a minor child being unalive, and then they're what? They don't even answer the question about how comes a minor child get killed in it. Yes, you go in there because you get report of gunmen and gun salute or whatever. But does that justify
but
give an answer for
hold on,
a
sister.
minor child?
Hold on, sister. Let me read the next paragraph. I'm gonna bite that down. Look here. Look at the next paragraph. When the situation was brought under control, 2 men were found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds and were later pronounced dead on arrival at Ostad, the police said. Now, let me ask the police, where the 2 men were found, right? Were they found close to the home where the child died? Because this statement that you have here, sir, is problematic, you know. This statement that you have here, sir, because you said, this is what you said. You said when the situation was brought under control, 2 men were found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds and were later pronounced dead on arrival at hospital. So let me ask you the question. Where these 2 men were pronounced dead, right? Were they in close proximity to the home that the child got killed in? And I'm going to play a next clip to show you, no, it wasn't so. So this is very serious. This is a very serious situation going on here. Now, look at this.
It is.
During the incident, a 4-year-old child, you see how they tied up, sister? Look it up. We're going to put the 2 paragraphs together. Let us put the 2 paragraphs together to show you what they are doing as it relates to this particular report. They are putting the house in the middle between them and the gunmen. And so then what they want to say, right, they want to say that, okay, they cannot tell specifically as to whether the child was killed by a gunman or the child was killed by one of them. This is what they are saying in these 2 paragraphs. Let me read it back and show John Public what they are saying. When the situation was brought under control, 2 men were found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds and were later pronounced dead on arrival at hospital, police said. Well, let me ask the question, and investigators, I want for you, when you go on the scene, right, to have an understanding of where these 2 men died. Where these 2 men were killed, and as it relates to how close of a proximity, you understand, the house where the child was being killed. You understand, to understand a better right understanding of the situation. Now, look how they mix it up now. During the incident, you understand, of killing the 2 fired upon the 2 men who died. A 4-year-old child sustained gunshot injuries. So you see that they are linking that house in the middle. This is what they are doing.
The 2 gunmen was in the house with the minor child.
What they are doing?
That's how they're trying to say.
Yeah, they are linking.
In a roundabout way.
Yes.
They're saying when the situation came under, because that's what is written, we're reading and understanding. Maybe not everybody, but from my understanding of what you just read,
yes,
it's saying that when the smoke clear, when they found the 2 men that was with sustained gunshot wound and they fatally died after, is the same place that they found the
exactly, my sister.
4-year-old child.
Your understanding is correct, because this is what they are saying here in terms of the 2 paragraphs. Look, when the situation was brought under control, the firing, 2 men were found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds and were later pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital, police said. Now, hear them now in the next paragraph. During the incident, a 4-year-old child sustained gunshot injuries and later succumbed. So they are saying that these 2 men who got killed were in the proximity, were in the proximity where the child was.
Yes.
That is what these 2 paragraphs are saying, and it is a fundamental wrong.
And on the other hand too, they are trying to say that in that case they don't know which bullet hurt the child.
Exactly. And here they mix it up. A 60-year-old woman was also injured. This is sin.
Does it really matter? When you go into a civilian in a home with civilian and children and family in there, and when a gunman run from where I run in there, what you need to do is to do what? De-escalate by make sure
Exactly.
you keep contain those gunmen.
Right? And if you don't mind sharp, if you don't mind sharp, they might want to link. You understand the house. You understand that the gunmen. You understand fire from the house.
Yeah.
I am telling you, because the way how this report structured, you understand, it is so vicious.
Question for you, Mystic. Hang on a minute now. Since Horace is in the hospital and recuperating, is he back on the job, or is this ministry, the Ministry of Security, is still in the office of the Prime Minister?
I would want to believe the latter.
Okay. I wonder if he realized that he cannot carry so much on his head because he's not Atlas. And not even Atlas in the daffy take you off his shoulder. Because this is where things get fall down. And
yes.
Moreover, when you give a mandate to your security forces and they're carrying out those mandates, there's gotta be strict oversight. And there must be, with this situation, what they had to come against, there must be a commanding officer in charge when they went in. And they must have where they have communication, because this coming like it was chaos because the way they're talking. There was no commanding officer. There was no oversight. There was no, like, as we said, protocol followed when they had to go in there, because these are the things that happen where you have this minor child being unalive and nobody, sorry doesn't cut it. I'm sorry doesn't cut it. But that's a life.
But basically what we are reading here, they are not owning it. They are not owning it, sister. This is what I'm saying to you, Based on what we are reading, they are not owning up to the responsibility of it, Now, let me show you something. Let me go to our next video. And you see, in terms of, right, the different view coming from the community. Look at this. Look at this, my sister.
Okay.
Look at this. Let me just share this with the public. This is crazy. Right? Let us just play this.
And the mother, the grandmother in them bed. So just turn the gun in the house of photos. And when the mother call out that picking at the bed, pick at the house, they just keep on shooting. I want to see all the policemen and all the soldiers who are on duty to come on frontline duty immediately.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! 4-year-old! 4-year-old! We want justice!
You got the father, right?
Yeah. Or you go kill 3 persons. The last say you're innocent. Say even if you go say them a murderer, them a gunman. The law say you're innocent until proven guilty.
When you get the first gunshot, they turn on the gun, see the way. Turn on and click up the side, that's all. The police soldier boy tell you to go. We want justice. This cannot continue. Every time the police have come in Granville, it's the same story. Man shoot over them and they return the fire and found man suffering from gunshot. No arm wounds. Not even the baby, not even a water gun. We want justice.
Was in the bed, and when the police when they come down, me want running after them come down, then start fire on the house.
From now on, we need soldiers to use the drone and look for gunman. We don't hear no kick off no door and shoot nobody. Use drone, look for gunman.
My name is Peter Salke. I'm the administration officer for the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the St. James Division. Sometime after 12 midnight, fatal shooting occurred in this Granville area. As a result, investigations have started by the relevant authorities in relation to this matter. We are maintaining a presence here because residents are demonstrating as a result of the fatal shooting. During the confrontation, we made to understand that an AK-47 rifle was seized. The 3 persons are reportedly dead. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is willing and carrying out the necessary investigation in relation to this matter. And whatever happens, we will definitely communicate this information as we go on. What we're doing, though, is based on what is happening here in the demonstration, we're urging persons that whatever you know, just talk with investigators so that whatever is to happen will happen. We're asking persons to make sure that as much as possible law and order is maintained. And as a matter of fact, if you see the strong presence here is to assist with the process. We are aware that it can be hurtful when we lost loved ones, but the police has to do the necessary investigation and police activities in the area to make sure that you are safe. And as a result of what happened last night, they were in the area when this incident occurred sometime after 12 because of reports of loud explosions in the area. Let us continue to work to keep them.
Let us stop this, right? And let me just ask some question now, right, my sister?
Yes.
And let us narrow this thing down, right? From the argument from an area to the house.
Yes.
I want to know, right? Were they being fired upon? And I'm talking to the security force. Were you being fired upon, right? Any fire coming from the house where that child was? The answer is
That's
no.
The question. That's the question.
The answer is no, based on what the grandmother is saying. They were sleeping. Right?
Yes.
The young lady, the mother of the child, came out to close her gate because apparently she don't want nobody run come to her place. Simple means that there was no gunman in her place.
Yes.
And then the soldier said to her to go back in the house. And then immediately after she went back in the house, this is when I start to fire upon the house. So then let me ask the question. Were there any shot being fired upon the law enforcers, right, from the house? And if it is no, then what is the reason for you to fire upon the house? What is the reason? What would be the reason? If there's no shot coming from the house where you can say, okay, all right, your life is under threat, right? Yeah. Your life is under threat. And so then you try to disengage the threat. If there's no firing coming from the house towards the policemen, my question to the investigators, why were these lawmen chose to fire upon the house? That's the question. Why?
Why wasn't there put safety in place for the civilians?
And
when it's military always know that they handle civilian with due care because civilians and military is a two different protocol compared to police, which is policing every day. Their training is separate. Safety, why wasn't there any safety in place before they even go in?
You know what? Shocking, sister. You asked that question. Shocking. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show John Public something now. Because I had done the research last night. And I am going to show you what the Jamaica Constabulary Force has. And let me say this. This is what the lawyers, any lawyer who are going to defend this family, because this family has to proceed with a lawsuit. Let me say this clear, because they might not want that to be uttered. The family need to pursue forthwith with a civil action. Civil action. Right? And if we have a true democracy, right, criminal action must be proceeded as well. But it is the Andrew Holness administration, you're not going to get it. And let me explain this to the people so the people can understand. In our criminal case, the burden of proof is higher to prove. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, particularly in this case when it comes to any felony. You have to prove that case beyond a reasonable doubt. But when you put out a lawsuit, it boils it down 50-50. It is the preponderance of guilt. And what is going to be measured in that particular case, right? It is going to be measured as it relates to the police training is going to put under the microscope. What a police need to do in a house clearing. Because put it this way, that they want to say, and this is how stupid, right, they are in terms of sending out this report. Put it this way, that they believe that, okay, some shot was fired from the house. Let me just give it to them. And also inform the parents of the child how to proceed. Let me say this. What they have to prove now is having their entire training under focus as it relates to that litigation. Right? Number one, even if someone fell from the house, and you, particularly when the lady run out and told you that, listen, right, she's going back into her house, and you tell her to go back into the house, and then they start to fire up on the house. Right? Number one, you should secure her. She came out to you. You should have, if gunmen in the house, let me say this, and let me put some fire under them. If she run out to you, put it this way, said gunshot been firing from the house, and she run out to you, right? Said she's going to close her gate, and you have her in that close proximity. The opportunity right then and there to secure her. To secure her. But what did you do?
Hold on, Mystic. Because if that's what I'm saying, the protocol they follow. She came out to them, secure her, because they don't know if the gunmen, them hold them in hostages,
here you go.
Situation in the house.
There you go, madam. So then even if, right?
And put in the safety measures and the perimeter, get the curtail off the perimeter, get out the other people's, them in the neighbors from around the close proximity of those homes. Do the safety protocol and secure the people, civilian them. And then either you do a negotiation where you can secure those other hostages, because she's going to tell you, my mom is inside, my baby is inside.
Okay, watch this now, sister. Watch this now. Because here I fetch this conversation from the chat with Serene Sue, right? And hear what Serene Sue said. There's little or no respect shown to people of certain class in this country. Make we sort of wrap around Serene Sue, what Serene Sue said. What Serene Sue said is absolutely 100% truthfulness. Because you know what? If this was a situation, right, that happened as it relates to the echelon of society, number one, they wouldn't approach it like that.
For example, New Kingston.
Exactly.
For example, Upper St. Andrew. For example, Portmore, certain areas. For example, even all of the parishes them where you have the classism in there, where this is one set of area where these are the echelon of this parish and all that stuff. So you can't just go in there, go carry on as you please. So they would put the safety measure in place.
Exactly. But let me show you something in terms of the research that I had done. And what's this? And I am putting out this, right? Because this has to be coming into question, right? And the family need to pursue forthwith with a lawsuit. No itch, no hesitate. Don't hesitate, don't delay. If that lady is listening to me, if the family is listening to me, proceed with a lawsuit, right? Or if right? If you want some information from me, come call me. The lady for that child, call me and I can direct you to a lawyer. Call me, right, to get on this immediately. They need to be disciplined. Now let me get into show you something where they are going to be in problem. This is how they are going to be in problem. Let me show you this. House clearing. Watch this now. Watch this, my sister. This is what I researched last night and found. Look at this. Let me just bring up this that everyone can see it. Can you see it, my sister?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. The Jamaica Constabulary Force incorporates house clearing tactics as a part of its specialized close quarters combat and tactical training for elite units. This training is designed for high-risk scenarios and is generally available to active law enforcement or military personnel through specific institutional programs. Now, terminology, training overview, terminology. In a law enforcement military context, house clearing or room clearing refers to the tactical procedures used to safely and effectively search and secure buildings or confined spaces from threats. JCF specialized units, the JCF specialized operation branch, including its special weapons and tactics, SWAT. There was no, I want to know if there was any SWAT team there last night, you know. I want to know if there was any SWAT team there, you know, on the scene, you know. And quick response team are the primary recipients of this advanced training. So this is telling me, you know, that they have this. You know, hold on, the sister. Hold on there. Hold on there.
Oh my.
Hold on, sister. May I tell you, say, you know, we do the research, you know. So me and them this morning.
Yes.
Me and them. Now, let me show you something again. Let me get back into the part 2 of that document that we are showing. We are exposing them. We want, right, the family to pursue, you understand, immediately forthwith with a lawsuit. Very serious. Now look at the second. Let me just bring up this. You understand? The government want to shift from this. Now, curriculum. The training involves a range of operational skills such as firearm handling and marksmanship. Because you can't go there on a fire, you understand, sporadically, like what that soldier had done and kill the child. Now, situational awareness and threat assessment. Oh my God. This is what we are talking about. Situational awareness and threat assessment. You have a shooting, you have a situation like this.
Yeah.
What was the situational awareness? What was the threat assessment? As a matter of fact, the lady said she came out of the house to close her gate. And you tell her to go back in her what's it not house. You tell her to go back in her what's it not house. So I am bringing this information to them so that they can see this, that they know what to do and how the lawyer needs to proceed. Now look this: room entry and movement techniques, team coordination and communication protocols. Did you have anything? If you believe that gunman was in the house, did you have a microphone or some megaphone to speak to the person? You understand, and instruct him what to do? Did you have that? Mr. No primitive. No, use of simulated munitions for realistic scenario practice training institution. Formal tactical training for JCF members is typically conducted at specific academies. National Police College of Jamaica offers general weapons and tactical training programs to enhance officer response to high-risk situations like this one. Caribbean Special Tactics Center. This institution, part of the Caribbean Military Academy, provides advanced and specialized training. So then, oh, you come tell me, you know, after I go through all of them something, you know, how you have a 4-year-old child now dead. And the mother of that 4-year-old child now, they run out. And I tell us if he cease fire. And you tell her bad word, what's it not, go back in the house. You send her back in the line of fire. You know, look, we don't make up this, you know. We are not making up this. We are not making up this. The lady, the lady came out of the house, right, to close her gate. And you tell her what's it not, go back in the house. And after she went back into the house, then you start to fire. No, man. Hey, look, people need to go to prison. This is not only a civil matter.
They need to pull that statement because that statement that this one that they put out this morning has shown that they did not do a thorough investigation yet. I don't think they have the commanding officer, if there was one, with the battalion or the group that went out to the police, then that went out. They must have a commanding officer. There must be someone in charge to tell them how to go in, when to go in, how to deal with the situation, and they have them have them radio system where them talk to each other. So I don't understand.
But what is sister? What is sister?
We're hearing this kind of statement.
All right, let me ask a question, sister. Okay, all right. They said they had respond. Let me just take them their report. They said that they had responded to a situation, to the fact that they heard that men were shooting in celebration into the New Year's. Now that them say?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, since you have that information and you are aware of that information, what is your preparation going into the situation? Were the special task force team were along with you?
All right.
May I ask a question, you know? As it relates,
questions we are asking, I agree.
As it relates,
question, Mystic.
Exactly, as it relates to your tactical training. Right? You are going into a developed area. You know that this area is a developed area. Did you make an assessment of the situation?
Yes.
You are talking about you are bringing M16 into a developed area. You're bringing in M16. M16 and AK-47 have a range capacity of shooting over a mile. So you are bringing these weapons into a particular developed community that has the ability and the capability for the range velocity to extend to a mile and more. This is the weapon that you are taking into the developed community. No.
And the military,
yes.
And the military are special trained. So if they're saying the JDF is in there and the JDF is dealing with it, if it's a JDF commander, I have to say, I would expect top quality in mind to deal with a situation like that. If there is, as they said, the JDF in there, and if it was a JDF commander, if it's a police commander, he has a different protocol of getting these things done, because as you read, they have the training to de-escalate, dealing with civilian, having gunmen and civilian in there. They need to secure the civilians first before they deal with the threat, because they're putting themselves and the civilians at risk.
Exactly.
So this come down to the whole thing's Mystic. Somebody has to answer the question, where were the safety protocols?
You're so right. This goes to the art of their training. This goes to the art of their training. Right? And this is a case that they can't win.
Did they utilize those training?
They can't win.
Did they put in place those training? Is each and every one that they picked to go on this report that they got, did they coordinate before they go there, or they randomly just go?
Hold on, sister. Let me say something. Because you're asking some very important question and I like where you're going. Just stay with me. Now, watch this now, my sister. And I'm talking to the parents of the child who got killed. Listen to me now. If you are listening to me, I want you to follow every single advice that I'm giving you this morning. Don't depend on the police report. Hear what I want you to do. Where the two gentlemen died, get a private investigator to go and take the picture and the location of where they were killed. More, listen to me, listen keenly to me. Go and take the picture of the location where the other two persons were killed. I want you to have a video settings to capture where your home is. Now, you know what that is going to do? That is going to put them under pressure. You understand? As it relates to giving the reason as to why they fired up on your house. Because if the killing done said 15 yards away from your house, right? As it relates to those two persons or any distance away from your house, that need to be known as it relates to the distance, right? As it relates to where they were engaged with the shooting. That is what you want to put out of the way, where they were engaged in the shooting. You are going to take, right, all photos and video as it relates to the distance where the police or the soldier, right, stand firing into your house. Because you know what you want to highlight? That, okay, even if they tell lie, you want to trap them in a way that even if they tell lie, their lie is not going to cut it. And let me tell you why. It is going to go now to their training. If a gunman did in your house, put it this way, I'm not saying a gunman is in your house. If a gunman did in your house, they now have to resort to what we call the house clearing tactics. That means it is their responsibility to get in that special team to deal with that situation. If that situation is above them, they need to get in the special team to deal with that situation. What they should do is to make sure that they cordon off the area so that you make sure that the gunman at bay, right, and you try to reduce the risk by having might be someone there to try to speak to him, whether through a microphone or some sort of loudspeaker. You understand? Let him know that such and such or whatever your name is, you are fully surrounded, right? And we are asking as it relates to, common sense, right? I mean, the situation, we can deal with the situation, right? Don't escalate the situation, right? Where you're going to put yourself in more trouble and so forth. We just want to have a rational conversation with your mind. If you want to lower your arm or come out, you are going to assess the situation to know that, okay, all right, is this a situation? Is this person being suicidal? Is this person is going to make the decision to say, okay, all right, before me go down, I'm going to take out the whole family before me go down if you don't go carry me down. All of them things they need to assess. You understand? And they need to get in the special team. But then you tell me now that you are going to communicate somehow, right? And where you have that lady, you have the opportunity to now have that lady in your position. Hear the question that you're going to ask the lady. Hear the position. Hear the thing what you're going to ask the lady. First thing you're going to ask the lady, right? If the gunman in the house, because she don't run out of the house, I'm not saying that gunman in her house, Don't get me wrong. You're going to find out from the lady, you understand, how many gunmen in the house. Where are they located in the house? Our reason, CFR, secure her, because she's going to help you to give you an understanding of what you are facing. She's going to give you, she's coming out of the house, it's her house, she can give you the information. She's going to tell you how many persons, you understand, in the house. And so then you're going to make now a better decision in terms of understanding, okay, all right, 4 persons in the house, 1 is the gunman. You're going to have an understanding where the gunman is or how you need to deal with the situation. None of the something never done. Hear what you do now, Mr. Lawman. You send her back in the house So then if you send her back into the house and you fire upon the house, your intention was to even kill her too.
Exactly.
If you send her back into the house and you fire wild shot into the house, that means your intention was to have her killed as well.
Yeah, because she's a witness.
This is madness.
Madness. This is blatant assassin, murder, killing of civilian people.
This is madness.
By a trained security force.
This is madness. Right? The government need to stop. You can't have these people who is carrying out, you understand, these assassination. These people in your police force, and you protect them. Because that report offering them protection. Yes, my sister.
Mystic, I pray that this pain that you're feeling too, Mama Mystic, Sister Mystic, somewhere there, if you just calm it down. I'm looking at you and you're way down with it. So way down. As you said, you didn't sleep. Are you asking the pertinent questions? We know for a fact from what we've been seeing, and from the 2025 going into 2026, I personally wouldn't like to hear another word unfortunate from the police commission or the Minister of Defense and Security. It will just obliviate every humanity, if even they did have a little bit left. Do not come with no unfortunate, because right now you realize that, as you said, with their statement that they put out, they don't want to take responsibility.
That's what they're doing.
Held accountable. However, the fact of the matter is, a minor child, 4-year-old child, was unalive during security with secure shootout, as they want, because that's what they're saying. It's a shootout. Let's come down to just put the word there. That's what they're saying. It's a shootout. So, with that being said, that young lady and the grandmother must be very careful of their own safety, because their life is still at risk. From what we know and understand now of these security forces, they will assassinate them because the two men never dead yet. But by the time they reach a hospital, then dead. So dead man have no deals.
But my
so
thing,
they
sister,
must be careful too, because there's no trust in the security. They don't trust the police in Jamaica. They don't trust the army now. The army is involved. That is the sadness, which is supposed to protect Jamaica from outside forces. They are doing things to the inside population that they have a moral and a obligation to take care of, ethically, morally, to safeguard the population from outside forces. They are involved in unaliving inside the same population, even up to a minor child.
I'm going to show you something in terms of housekeeping clearance as it relates to the task force doing that. You understand? And I want you to look at this video in terms of what we are talking about, right? Because the interest to save life is paramount. And where you have a situation, whether it's a situation or whatever the situation is, and I want to find out why. Here is Leonie McLegan asking, right? As he sent her back in her house, he knows no gunman is in there. So what happened? And I mean, it's a solid question, because if you know that there is no gunman there, right, and you send her back into her house, right, then the question that I am going to ask you, why did you fire? Why did you fire upon the house? What is the reason or reasons, right, that you fire on the house? Known to the situation that, okay, all right, you asked her to go back into the house. I would like to ask the police or the soldier that question. Why did you send her back into the house? Because you can't tell me that the situation was unsafe, and so you send her back in the house because you'd be a madman. And if the situation safe, simple means there's no gunman in the house. So then the question that I'm going to ask you, why did you fire? Why did you fire in the house? Give me the reason as to why you fire in the house. I am putting this to you, you know, the shooter, if you are listening to me, for this lady to reach out to you, right? And where you have the opportunity to speak to her, you did not secure her. You asked her to go back into the house. Let me ask you, why did you send her back into a situation that is dangerous? If you are saying that gunman in the house. If you are saying that gunman in the house, let me ask you a question. Did you speak with her? Did you speak with this lady coming out of the very same house that you perceive gunman to be? Let me tell you something, you know, because you're totally in a problem, you know.
Yeah.
Because from when she came out of the house, if you perceive that house, right, as it relates to be a threat to you, right, you have spoken to her, right? Why did you send her back in the house? That is the question you need to answer. Why did you send her back in the house? Because number one, if you send her back in the house, that means you are telling me that the situation is rendered safe for you to send her back into the house. Now, if the situation renders safe and you send her back into the house, because you can't tell me, say, gunman in the house, they fire at you, and where you had spoken to her, and you send her back into the house, you can't tell me that, you know? There's nobody you can tell that you can say that to, you know. So then, if you send her back into the house, you are rendering.
No, you're seeing exactly the scenario.
Exactly.
She came out. Somebody came out from the home, and you send her back in. You had a conversation.
You have a conversation with her.
You had a conversation. So you had an opportunity to question her.
Exactly.
If there is danger and threat in her vicinity, then you had an opportunity to question her, to talk to her. So what did you ask her? What conversation did you have?
This is very serious.
That means, as you said, it was safe for her to go back in, so you tell her to go back inside. So what triggered you now to start shooting on the same house that you send her back into?
Now you understand the question that I'm asking my sister.
That's it. No, but that is the question you are asking, and it's a valid question. Anyone with any common sense would ask that question. That's why I still say the commanding officer that was in charge, when they got the report of that, and they put a unit together to go to face that threat, what was their protocol? What was their end game? Was it to kill or to arrest, or was it what? Just like what that person said in the chat. After you send her back in there, what happened? So what was your end goal? What was the police or the JDF or the combined unit? What was their end goal? Was it to arrest, kill,
right?
Question.
And here Rosalie asking another question. Why did they continue to shoot when they cry that her baby got shot? These are, this is very serious,
Exactly.
This is very serious. Right? Now, after the shooting subsided, let me ask a question now. After the shooting subsided, right? What happened to that so-called gunman? Because there has to be a gunman in that house, might be shooting at you, and as a cardinal, to basically how you are shaping this report, you are shooting back. You understand? Because either way,
I guess it's
either or either you are in problem. Either or either you are in problem. right?
The implication is either the grandmother was shooting back, the child's mother was shooting at them, the grandmother was shooting at them, or the 4-year-old that was unalive was shooting at them. Because that's those are the only persons that in the house. Those two gunmen that they found, if it was in that house, it would be in the news.
Okay, can you imagine, my sister?
They would be first and foremost the man them they are not in there, we go get them. They cannot change your argument.
There's
now.
a problem here.
They cannot change your statement now.
There's a problem here, and I'm telling the persons who are involved with this, right, to make sure you go take your photograph, do your measurement, because all of that is going to be needed in court, right? Take a photograph as to where the persons were killed, right? Make sure that you measure the distance. People, listen to me. Measure the distance between where the persons were killed and where the house located as it relates to where the child being killed. So then a better understanding, because let me tell you something. If you leave up this investigation to them alone, right? And we are making known, say, investigators need to be on this. That means if they are planning to cook up anything, it can't get no cook up. Me they brought down all of the cooking. Me they take out all of the seasoning right now from out of the pot. So that means that the pot cannot be seasoned. So let me tell you now what you need to do. Go and make sure you measure the distance as to where the person's killed to where your house is. Take a full photograph. Go at your gate and take a full photograph, right? And video where your gate is to where your house located. And where they were when they were firing at your house. And so then when the court look at it, under no circumstances they can put your house in the middle to say that, okay, cross-firing, and they don't know, because that is where they are going. I am telling you people that's where they are going. So broke up that. Go and get a video done of where the other two persons got killed. Now much of them part today. Me now make them season it up. Me now make them season it up. Me now give them the ability there. Me now give them the chance there. The government need to admit that they are wrong and they need to compensate. And that guy who fired up on the house need to go to prison. So we now go make them season up the pot. Unless you don't know, listen to me, you know, or somebody who know them, tell them to listen to the program and have an understanding. And make sure, say, that private investigator that you are going to use, right? Make sure that the lawyer that you are going to, well, the lawyer is supposed to know that. That's why, get a good lawyer, right? And the lawyer will understand as it relates to the location where they were killed, right? And where your house located, right? And establish that, okay, all right, your house was not in between where the gunman over here up on the left and the police over here on the right, and so your house in the middle. And even so, if that was the scenario that they are trying to plot, it will not work. It is going to go to their training. Because remember, you're carrying high velocity weapon, M16 rifle. And that's a developed community that is supposed to have proper training how to deal with situations like this.
They needed to put safety in place, Mystic.
So exactly.
Let somebody else and you have a talk. It was good, Mystic. But as I said,
blessing my sister.
On the right track, and thank you for advocating for this family losing the 4-year-old child being unalive under those circumstances. But please, where is Mama Mystic? Because you don't look too well because you're burdened down.
Mama is at work.
Anyways, have a blessed day and the rest of the day.
Thank you so much, my sister. Right? And I mean, yeah, I mean, ISAT is very good. You understand? So, of course, you understand, if the lady can connect with me, you understand, we can put even ISAT on the case. Right? So, that lady need to make sure, right, that, you know, get some information in terms of what to do. Right? Yes. We are not going to make them escape this one. Because I am asking the question, if a 4-year-old is not safe in his or her home, where else that they are going to be safe? And you notice the commissioner of police and the prime minister coming out and talking about, right, crime down, murder down, and all these foolishness. You understand? All this foolishness when them put all sort of dead bodies in all sort of categories, lying to the Jamaican people. Uno toxic. Uno toxic. And that's the truth about the matter. Uno need to leave the government. Right? Uno toxic. Now, let me go to Layard Mackenzie. People, let me go to Layard Mackenzie. I'm going to go to Layard Mackenzie. Right? Now, what's his people? Let me show you said them are real old liar, you know. Real old liar. And Mackenzie is so stupid. No, I don't know. No. That's the reason why I say extremism. It's too stupid. Extremely stupid. When you come out, let me talk to you, Mackenzie. When you come out, look, this is not the 1980s, you know. Desmond Mackenzie. When you come out on a political campaign and you tell a lie, and you go back on another political campaign and you tell another lie. No, you're going to be fact checked. You idiot. You're going to be fact checked. I am going to show you some of the situations with you, telling pure lie. Pure lie. So what you're saying to the people who vote for you, right? That don't depend on my representation because I'm a liar. That is what you're telling people, right? That your sort of political representation is that you're conniving, you're deceiving. Now, look at this, my people. Look at this. Let us just get to this brother, because this brother, he is sick. Totally sick. Right? He doesn't understand the time that he's in. Right? And this is what I'm saying as it relates to these politicians, you understand, who are dinosaurial. They are dinosaurs. Big giant body and small brain. Dinosaurs them. They are dinosaurs. Now, let us look at this. This is Mr. Mackenzie. Listen to this, people.
A major twist to the issue brewing at the Petersfield High School shelter in Westmoreland. Local government minister Desmond Mackenzie has dismissed claims that he told persons housed at the shelter that they must vacate the premises by December 31. Our reporter Kimberly Petty has been tracking the story and now reports.
I've advised the persons who occupy the facility that by the end of December, we'll be closing the operations of the shelter here.
That was Local Government Minister Desmond Mackenzie on December 3, addressing persons who were occupying the shelter at Petersfield High School. Ever since that statement, many residents have been planning an exit route as they watched their calendars wind down. In addition to giving a closure date for the facility, he also laid out 4 alternatives available to residents: rent, infirmary, staying with family, or being housed temporarily in tents across from the school, an idea he said he later shelved. Our news team visited the shelter on Tuesday, a day before the planned closure, to see which option the residents had chosen. The residents told us they were in limbo as they did not receive an update from the government on the promises made. And so they made it clear they will not leave until they receive building supplies.
If you come off a shelter, go. You understand? We can't leave a shelter if we don't get material for rebuild one room or one 2 room. Remember, all the people over here, no? Mother and picnic over here, everybody over here, no? Woman over here with them 4 or 5 picnic, we don't have nowhere to go. Where them all go with the picnic? Them out the roadside.
Now, fast forward to December 31, the day the shelter is expected to close. Minister Mackenzie, having heard the people's plight, is refuting allegations he initially told them to leave.
At no stage, this government, this minister, nor the prime minister indicated to anyone that by 12 noon on the 31st, they will have to vacate.
No,
But instead,
hold on and now, people. Hold on and now, people. Well, we know, say, the minister seems to have Alzheimer's. Minister have Alzheimer's. We come to that conclusion there. Because we play the clip. And him now claims, say, people have spread propaganda upon the government. And him that spread the propaganda upon the government. And him gave the people ultimatum. And you hear what I say? Hold on the people. I can put it up more up close and personal. No, I'm not a liar. Duckans say heat out them brain. Yes, man. I come to the conclusion, say, Duckans, they eat out them brain. Really and truly. Now, watch a drama, you know, people. God, Duckans say eat out them brain. You see, let me ask. I want to ask Andrew Holness administration, based on what is unfolding with Desmond Mackenzie and the shelter. Do you have any plans, right, to rebuild resilience in terms of rebuilding people homes who have been what got damaged? Because we remember, you know, we get $6.7 billion for that purpose, you know. I want to ask Andrew Holness this. Going 2 months, I have a caller come in. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Just hold a minute there. Let me just finish this point. I want to ask a question here. Going 2 months after the passing of Hurricane Melissa, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, how many homes have you provided to those who had suffered the total damage of their homes, or some who where their roofs came off, right? And now you have the shelter situation. Now it seems like you are running them out of the shelter. How many homes have you provided? 2 months after. 2 months after. Just let that rest. Let that rest. And remember, you know, you collect millions of dollars from the United States, you know. Apart from you getting $6.7 billion. Right? Remember, you know, a taxpayer's money, you know. I don't know how you fool yourself, you know. Who you think is going to pay about the tax on that? Taxpayers. So who you think are to be benefited? Taxpayers. But you want to give the church, right, that collecting, offering, not paying any taxes, and the people who are paying taxes, you're denying them. Let me just take this call, the call here. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Hey, Mystic, how are you? Happy New Year to you and your wife, sir.
Same to you, my dear, and your family.
Thank you. Of course, thank you so much. Now, Mystic, that man who's talking about the shelter, is he for real? Is he on some type of heavy drugs? Like, I don't know, I'm not talking about illegal drugs. Maybe he forgot to take his Prozac, you know, when he did that information, okay? Because you know what? Maybe he can take the people them in Jamaica for idiots. Don't do it over here. Don't do it. He was there, big bold, a big bold evil, telling the people you have to get out what you got to do. And now now he's coming back talking like a little child. You know what I'm saying? Like a child. Why he looking sympathy? Yes, you tell them they have to get out and you threaten them to get out. I have that part. I saved that part for myself. Okay? This gentleman here disgusting.
Disgusting.
You are so disgusting. I don't even think you know what the word disgusting means. That means you're bottom of the drugs, of the dregs, of the coffee cup. That's exactly what you are. You are in the government. Mystic, let me get off.
Thank you.
You're just pissing me off.
All right, my
Have a
sister.
wonderful day, sir.
All right, love you. Jeez. Well, I mean, believe you me, that's what the caller said. Boy, this man is walking on his head. Right? Jocelyn said he's one of Mapen Cemetery Duppy. People if you're not busy come here. But me understand what Joyce has said because trust me, the man have Alzheimer's, man. What I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. But people, make me travel. Look at this, people. Look, go back into this because this is madness, you know. All right. Hear this man now. After the man came out and said what he said. Now hear him now. Hear him.
It is unfortunate that I have to use this opportunity to respond to some dangerous mischief that is being created as it relates.
So then we'll under Mackenzie. No, you create them dangerous mischief. No, you created it. No, you spoke with journalists from CVM. Right? Telling them that you are giving the people an ultimatum as it relates to the 3rd of December. No, you do that. No, you say it. We don't have you. Mackenzie, go ahead. We are listening to you. We are listening to you.
Relates to the shelters, especially the Petersfield shelter.
Yes.
This government has never indicated to anyone that shelters will be closed at 12 noon today. There are persons out there who are creating serious mischief, misleading the country, playing on the sympathies and the...
Yes, man. You, Mackenzie, let me tell you all of the person them who create the mischief. The misinformation and the disinformation. Desmond Mackenzie, Big Mama, Jazz Davis, Henry Morgan grandson, that is Morgan, Abka Fitz-Henley, Andrew Holness, and the leader for misinformation and disinformation. You see your face? Look at your face. Knowing fully well, you know. Say you lie to the people, you know. This is what you're doing, you know. This is what you have done for all of your political years, lying to the people. Then. You see how Tivoli State can look at Tivoli. The Jamaica Labour Party spend the most time in their political history and look at Tivoli as a community. Look at Tivoli today. And only spend most of the time in the government and look at Tivoli. Eh? Me don't know how people are following you, know. Me don't know how people are vote for you, know. But go on.
The unfortunate state of persons who reside in these shelters.
No.
This government...
This will show you how wicked you are. This will show you how wicked you are, conniving and deceiving. Eh? And come on now, they drift. Come on now, they deflect. You understand? I'm not tell a lie. For sure you're wicked. No, that's why I don't want to blame FINSA the 95 financial meltdown on the PNP. Where FINSA was only a solution to the problem, You understand? We want to show the people them who you are. You understand? So this is the status quo of your party. Lie, deceit, and wrecking the economy. Right? This is what you people do. Just like you are no different from Andrew Holness, you know. You are no different. As a matter of fact, Andrew Holness tell you to do this. Now, Andrew Holness come out many platforms, spoke about the 90s financial meltdown and talk about high interest rate. But you notice them never talk about unsecured loan. unsecured loan where Seaga borrow X amount of $1 million from? Eh? I saw no wicked and saw no lie. So no wicked and so no lie. Go ahead.
Has given a commitment to protect the dignity of these persons, and we have no.
You give commitment to protect dignity of who? Who you protect dignity of? Desmond McKenzie, you remember say you were part and parcel of the situation as it relates to the Eden Time home. You, Mackenzie, was a part and parcel. Eh? You shouldn't be in politics, in Desmond Mackenzie. Mackenzie, you shouldn't be in politics, in Eh? If you want to continue on a series of wickedness, you shouldn't be in politics, in But me said, time go and catch up on you. Time go and catch up on your bushra.
Intention of moving anyone out of any shelters that is being used at this time, whether it is schools or community centers. We are working closely with the Ministry of Education, and those works are well advanced. I want to spend a minute to speak on Petersfield. We have found alternative location on the grounds of the school, behind the school, where we are now doing some temporary work to allow those persons in the shelters to go into that location. Already, there are persons who have been using it, and we are going to be doing some work to ensure that the 50 persons...
Let me ask you a question, Mackenzie. When you and the government is going to go into the rebuilding process of the billions of dollars on the collect, the millions of dollars, when are you going to get involved within the program and start to dealing with, right, the rebuilding of the people homes who are damaged, and some of them who might be just affected, their roof just blown off? All of this one not do, but who not getting that? Where the money there? I want different bank around this, you know. I want different bank around this, you know, but me just wait until certain things crack, you know. I want to go on with and a grown and a gray, blah, blah, blah. Want to take the people their money, want to give some to JPS, right? Want to take the people their money, want to do what you want to do with it. You think we now watch, you know, me talk before it happened, you know, you think we now watch, you know, with the Michael Leaching situation. But if we take taxpayers' money and give to Michael Leaching a bangarang in Jamaica, you make me tell you this. The people them are going to be marched aggressively because we see what we are doing. We want full accountability for all of the money we want to collect. You know. Full accountability. You know. When you come out and tell lie, let me tell you one talk saying. When you claim say, you know the administration that have the biggest, that get the biggest loan. I don't know if getting the biggest loan or something. To see political aggrandizement. Getting the biggest loan. You shouldn't have brag so you get the biggest loan. You shouldn't have brag so you get the smallest loan. But the way you stupid, the way you fool. You don't know no sense, you so insensitive. That you come out and I talk about the only administration to get the biggest loan. Like, you kidding me? Eh? It comes with austerity measures, more pressure on the economy. Right? The citizens of Jamaica go have to pay back for it. So remember, you know, let me tell you what we are watching now. When you come out, when you talk in the parliament, oh, okay, the only part of the loan, right, is $3.8 billion, which taxpayers are going to be responsible for because IMF, and as it relates to the 6.7 billion, some of that, you understand, was made for business people to draw down upon it. Remember, you know, we have it up in our head, you know. Remember, say that you say, you know. And remember, say we are watching you like ark, you know. You know, wait until Parliament open. Wait until Parliament open. Once we are
so the 50 persons that are presently at Petersfield Shelter. Food for the Poor and a team from the ministry is down there in Petersfield as I speak, looking at locations to put temporary housing solutions. We are going to be holding those persons.
You know, let me show you something. Say, lie, tell again. You're not lying, you know. Lie and vicious. No wonder why Seaga went box you up. You understand? Seaga take off him belt and beat you. You say what this? Can you imagine? Seaga take off him belt and beat you, box you up in front of people. You understand? And then you come on up and Big Mama. You understand? Talking about the box and the beat and the belt, the strapping that you get. You understand? It was a good thing. You just see you want this. You just see you want this, nigga. You want this, man. Come on from a thing. You understand? Claim that the beating where you get fired with Seaga was a good thing. You just see you want this. Really what this piece of sure. No, let me get into this. Mr. Worthless. You understand? Man box me up. Now me a big man. You understand? Hey, for some people who know me, no say, yo, people can't ramp with me, you know. You understand? You box me at the last time. You ramp with me them way there. Eh? I'm gonna care bad. You bad. You ramp with me them way there. You understand? You sure. You see what listeners? Now, for sure, I'm going to show you how lie you are. Right? Watch it now, Mackenzie. Look at me I go. I'm going to show you how lie you be now. Look at now, Mackenzie. Right? Same thing you do yesterday, you know. So let me show you up. Let me show you up to Jamaican people.
Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zuleika Jess, has expressed disappointment with the state of shelters across the parish, even as those seeking shelter cry out for help with resources. Krista Campbell has that story.
As Melissa inched closer to Jamaica and the severity of her threat became apparent, residents of St. Elizabeth started to make their way to emergency shelters across the parish. We caught up with some who said they've been at the Santa Cruz Primary School since Sunday.
Give thanks to the government, they help like, know what going on, we don't know disaster and something to people and things. So just give thanks and praise we are in the shelter, you know. So you are going, we want to look here, we want some little bed for some little elder people and I know bed and there something there, you know, and some other people and the younger one them. Some of we got a little bed still, yes, but we want more bed, you know. And more little food, little water and everything, we don't know there.
Water. Everyone medicine arthritis. I mean, medication.
So they will come and shelter because food or that shelter food get to nothing. There's a picture right there, bed, pan, dirt. Miss the woman, they lie down right on that. And I'm dead for hungry. We don't get nothing. I just me have my everything that we are nothing. We pay up the cramp. We came walk this man.
Black River Mayor Richard Solomon responded.
We would have encouraged persons to bring along whatever it is that they can. We make special provision for persons who are homeless. We get the report from the man.
Stop this now. You the lie where you come out and tell us you know Mackenzie. Now show the people them your history you're lying. You the lie where you come out and tell now Mackenzie. Now after you know say, you understand there's no preparation on the shelter, no basic food items, no necessities for the people. But you the lie where you come out and say now and tell now Mackenzie. To show you how vicious you are. And the first time I do this, you do this all the while. You understand? As a matter of fact, this is your trait. You understand? You're just vicious and lie. And trust me. Here you know. Here you know, Mackenzie.
And to start off commenting on the aspect of the shelters and to just also speak quickly to the fact that in the daily newspapers and in the media, specific reference has been made to a number of shelters, especially in Westmoreland, about the lack of basic needs, supplies, and lack of security. I just want to give the country the assurance that all the shelters that was outlined by the new Director General of ADPEM is fully equipped.
So you lie?
Not just with food supplies, but with other.
No, these are the lies that you have been telling. You're a vicious person. Vicious person. And even when the people them come out, bringing the evidence of the journalists, them take picture, no food them having at the shelter. And here where you come out and say no, Mackenzie. Here where you come out and say no. You cannot be trusted. You cannot be trusted. Right? You're diabolically mendacious. You are diabolically mendacious. Right? And as a matter of fact, nothing that comes out as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party should be believable. Should be believable. Nothing. You people are a bunch of liars. And remember, it's a thief walk with that. Anyway,
adequate security, water. I must point out that one of the problems they are experiencing at the shelter is that during the days, a lot of people go to the shelters. They don't actually stay at the shelters, but they go to the shelters during the day. So when one go there, they find this huge crowd. It is not because the shelters is overcrowded. We have been working closely with the ADPEM and the municipal corporations to ensure that all the shelters have the requisite needs as we get down into the thing. The numbers have reduced. Next week, we'll be putting some 300.
No, you know what? I'm not going to spend much time with you. You understand? Because as I said, you are diabolically mendacious. So I'm not going to waste no time with you. I'm going to go on some serious business now. I'm going to make you hold up my time. You understand? Some serious business I'm going to go on now. You know, let me talk to my beautiful people. I mean, I don't have time to spend with you all, lad. Right? You know what you make out of. So we're not going to spend no time with you. Now, Jamaica, do people know, say, I am not going to come here and I'm going to share certain information with you people. Now, we could go in a Michael Leach in Bangarang. It's not easy, you know. It's a problem, you know. Right? And of course, it is going to take a toll on our economy as well. But I want to give you history as it relates to Michael Leaching and particularly NCB. Now, me make sure somebody get my documents and do my research. And when I dig into the research, I start to realize that NCB Bank is the bank that all Ponzi scheme found refuge in. You hear me, Mr. People? NCB is the bank where all Ponzi scheme found refuge in. Based on the evidence that we are looking on, it is blatantly clear that NCB is laundering money for some of these top scammers. Want to hear, Mr. People? I am going to go through the documents. I'm going to show you this. But I'm going to show you the life of luxury that Michael Leachin lived. Did he work honestly and hard for it? Let me present certain things. But first, look on the luxury luxurious life of Michael Leachin. Now watch this. You have touched Michael Leachin today. But let us show you what now befalling Michael Leachin, because you see sometimes, let me say this. You can continue to commit your evil, but one of these days, your evil is going to catch up with you. It's going to catch up with you. Just like how you, Croskery, was able to, how should I put it now, sort of ride the wave with his corruption from the 1990s meltdown with him and Paul Cheng Young, doing all what they had done, robbing investors, tricking investors into invest with them, and then take the investors' money, buy a property in Florida. Only see the people out of that. Only see the people out of that. And which bank facilitate certain things? NCB. This is where, and see here, today, we have seen that they caught up, because guess what? At the beginning of the smoke, listen up. It is the beginning of the smoke. Now, let me say something. Let me get into Michael Leachin. Right then and there. Get into Michael Leachin.
One of the Caribbean's most iconic billionaires on the verge of a massive shakeup? Michael Leachin, the chairman of NCB Financial Group, has officially missed a crucial $94 million.
But people, before me go any further, moneytalk.ja, right? Remember, if you just go over him and subscribe, please subscribe to him. You only have 1,460 subscribers over there. You understand? I think that this is a channel, right, that need the love, right? Because this person here, I'm telling you, is doing some real serious work, right? So please go over to Money Talk JA and sub up, right, to him. It's a channel that you need to check out. Money Talk JA. Now listen.
The empire of one of the Caribbean's most iconic billionaires on the verge of a massive shakeup? Michael Leachin, the chairman of NCB Financial Group, has officially missed a crucial $94 million bond payment deadline. Now, the clock has run out and the creditors are reportedly headed to the Supreme Court. The stakes? Control of Jamaica's largest financial institution. Today, we're breaking down exactly what happened, why this bond matters, and if Leachin is about to lose his grip on NCB. Before we proceed, if you want more videos like this, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel right now. It will really help our community grow. Plus, you will receive notification when we release more content like this in the future. Now, December 31st, 2025 was supposed to be the day Michael Leachin's AIC Barbados Limited settled a massive debt. We're talking about a $94.3 million bond. To put that into perspective, that is over 14.5 billion Jamaican dollars. This was not a surprise deadline, This was the final extension after a series of delays that have been dragging on for months. But as the new year rang in, the payments did not arrive. Now, the bondholders who have been patient up to this point are reportedly done waiting. Now, you might be asking, why does a personal or corporate debt of Michael Leachin matters to NCB shareholders? Here is the kicker, the collateral. To secure this 94 million US dollar loan, AIC Barbados used its crown jewel, millions of shares in NCB Financial Group. Specifically, we are talking about roughly 430 million shares. If Leachin cannot pay the cash, the bondholders have the legal right to go after the security. If they seize those shares, Leachin's majority ownership and his absolute control over the NCB empire would vanish overnight. This is not just a late fee. This is a fight for the keys to the kingdom. Because the deadline was missed, the trustees for the bondholders are now moving to the Supreme Court of Jamaica. They are seeking a declaration that a default event has occurred. Once the courts confirm this, it paves the way for a receiver to be appointed. Now, a receiver's job is simple. Take the assets, sell them, and pay back the creditors. If that happens, those 430 million NCB shares could be dumped on the market or sold to a new institutional investor. Now, that would be the biggest shift in Jamaica's corporate history in decades. Michael Leachin is a billionaire on paper, but as the saying goes, cash is king. For the last 2 years, Leachin has been in harvest mode, trying to sell off assets to create liquidity. He's been trying to sell his stake in the Grand Caribbean resorts and other regional assets. The problem? These are massive deals that take time. And in a high interest rate environment, buyers are not moving as fast as he needs them to. He's essentially in a race against time. And right now, time just won.
All right, let me stop it right there. And I'm going to say something here before we share the other documents. Let me talk to some people here. I've been looking on something and following a pattern. And what I'm looking on, I realized that over the period between early 2000, right, and now, early 2000 into 2021, right, the rise and fall of the Ponzi schemes, right, it's also detriment as it relates to Michael Leachin as well. The rise and fall of these Ponzi schemes, right, seems to be fashioned into the detriment, the strength of Michael Leachin and the falling of Michael Leachin. I'm going to show you something to make out a pattern. We realize that certain patterns exist with Michael Leachin. When all in crash, right? Michael Leachin, when all in strong, Michael Leachin purchased a yacht, right? And when all in crash, he sold the yacht. We do other investigation again and realize that when SSL strong, Michael Leachin purchased a yacht. And when SSL meet its predicament, Michael Leachin sold the yacht. Look at this, people. Look at this. Right? Look at this. Here it is. Rag to riches billionaire Michael Leachin sold his 300 million alpha, published May 9, 2023. The fall of SSL. Rags to riches. Billionaire Michael Leachin sold his 300 million ARPO mega yacht for a 62 million profit to pro-Occitan billionaire businessman Patrick Duvige. The 377-foot-long vessel has a massive IMAX movie theater, a Turkish Amman, and a winter garden. Let me show the yacht. This is the yacht, people. This is Michael Leachin yacht. Michael Leachin 300 million super yacht Alpha, rightfully called a floating 5-star resort, was sold for a staggering 362, right? So the purchase, so him gained $62 million on that. Now the glorious 378 Fleet Lorison super yacht was renamed. But the question that need to ask, where did Michael Leachin get this money from at first to purchase this yacht? Now let us get down into and show the luxury of the yacht. Alpha was sold in a deal with Moran Yacht and Ship, representing both the seller and the buyer. Robert Moran once said of Alpha, only 4 or 5 shipyards globally can get close to this perfection. Let's dive deep into the perfect decks of what was once the Alpha yacht. Now when you look at this yacht, here it is, luxury. Everything there is luxury. Look at this, people. Luxurious, everything. Top of the line, pool, movie deck. Right? Look at that, suites. Woo! Luxury. Helipad. Just look at that, you know, people. Look at that. Right? Look at the ambiance of this. Look at that. There you go. Luxury in fine style. The Alpo. Right? There it is. There it is, my people. But let us take away this document and get into further detail in terms of what we are tracking here. People, this not look good. All right. Since we come out of that, people might say, well, look like Byron talking a little bit too much now, and don't seem to have all his facts right straightened out or have all his ducks in a row. Look at what WikiLeaks picked up with NCB. Let us get into the history of that. Look at this. So, and me saying, I'm going to present the documents to you. Look at this. Look at these people, and let me bring it up for you, you know, so you all can read. I presume that you can read that. Summary. And this is WikiLeaks, right? Kingston 1749. Summary. Following in the path of several other alternative investment schemes, Cash Plus, Carif, Worldwise, C-Reftels, foreign currency trader Olin appears to have collapsed. Led by CEO David Smith, Olin built a strong following in Jamaica, promising returns of 10% per month. Unlike other schemes at the island, Olin appealed to more sophisticated investors. It was subject to a seize, and remember, Andrew Holness was in this. And not only that Andrew Holness was in Olin also gave the Jamaica Labour Party $5 million US. So let me speak out that. Let me speak out that. It was a subject to a cease and desist order by the financial service in late 2006, which also led to months of court battles with the National Commercial Bank, NCB, which had sought to close Olent accounts. Smith moved his operation to Turks and Caicos in March 2006, although bank accounts remained with NCB. So you know that Olent, right, have them bank account in NCB, but you know, watch out, people, you know, listen up. I'm going to show you the amount, the modus operandi of how NCB operate, facilitating Ponzi scheme. And when the money go into NCB, the money they just disappear, just like how Olent and all of them put the money in a NCB and then it just whoops disappear. Likewise, SSL, you understand, with you cross carry, put the money in a NCB and it whoops disappear. We don't know why. Olent's officers and Smiths, whom were subject to a raid by police in Turks and Caicos on July 11th. Press reports indicated that Smith's assets were frozen and that he is under investigation for possible financial crimes. You hear that, people? Although no charges have been filed, many investors have not received monthly payouts since the beginning of the year. Now, let me ask this question. For this Ponzi scheme putting their money in NCB, why NCB has never tried to pursue as it relates to how these persons are attaining their wealth, to say whether it is legitimate means or illicit means? I am asking the question, isn't that NCB as it relates to people who are taking in millions per week into NCB Bank, that some curiosity should arise as it relates to the investigation as to the legitimacy of such business going into the banking system? I don't know, I just ask a question. Although Jamaica has weathered the collapse of previous schemes, the demise of Olent could cause a negative ripple effect through the already weakened economy. Now, Dennis Cohen, Deputy Group Managing Director at NCB, expressed concerns about the collapse of Olent, saying it could hurt the overall economy. So let me ask Dennis Cohen. So Dennis Cohen, in the first instances, in terms of taking on these people business, right, where there are Ponzi schemes, right, you would realize then that these business were dealing with illicit enrichment and could not legitimize their action in terms of them generating profit in the means of criminality, fraudulent means. NCB, there is no investigation into deciphering that. No, let me stop. Jamaica is already reeling from rising food and energy prices, which have hurt growth prospect for the coming year. End comment. Cohen told NCAF only July 21st that NCB had filed documents with the court stating that despite public perception, when you listen to people, that there is between US dollars 50 to 200 million in Olent's accounts, in fact, there are virtually no funds left. So NCB, let me ask the question. So where have all the funds went? Where have all the funds gone? Olent bank with you. The movements of money in and out of the bank, the bank authority should have a fully understanding as it relates to the movement of cash into, you understand, as it relates to deposit, and out of the bank as it relates to withdrawals and wiring. Now, Cohen said the courts have sealed the documents because it is concerned it could create a panic if investors were aware that there is no money in Olin's account. So NTB, you and Mystic Sensation have a problem, yes, sir? So then NCB, Olint have an operation like this in your banking system. And you realize that investors had gotten hurt. Remember, NCB, that Andrew Holness have an account in Olint. NCB provide safety net for Olint account. Safety net. Now, what I want to ask you, NCB, after Olint rob X amount of investors as it relates to your banking system that provide safety net for Olint, then why did you entertain Cash Plus? Me just ask that question, NCB. Why did you entertain Cash Plus to run the same program through NCB? And in Cash Plus, again, investors get robbed. Come, me not finish with you yet, NCB. Then NCB, you make the man them run program, you make Olint run program through NCB, you provide safety net for them. You make Cash Plus run program through NCB, you provide safety net for them. You make SSL run program through NCB, and guess what? You provide safety net to SSL. Me don't know, me not say nothing. You understand? I just want people them for decipher. Me only ask a question and me only present the document. Some investors recognize that it was an high-risk currency trading scheme. Then NCB, you didn't realize this? No. But the common opinion seems to be that Smith had a legitimate financial background and a proven system for currency trading. This security, the press has reported that a number of high-ranking politicians, let me read back that over. The press has reported that a number of high-ranking politicians, including Andrew Holness, we can call him name, we can call him name because the Integrity Commission investigators them haul him out, call him out, identify him, and name him. So we can call him. We can call him out. Him also involved in the 90s financial meltdown. Him, Andrew Holness. See it, yeah? Now hide it. Now hide it. I show the people that the press has reported that a number of high-ranking politicians from both major political parties are among Olint investors. Let me put in that. Now, let me take with this. Right? Let me come back yourself. Now watch this, people. I go up on number 2. Kind of done yet. Let me big up this. Now for them not like what I say yes or no. Like what I do yes or no. Cohen said he knows of one investors who had more than US $4 million in Olint. This was Andrew Holness. This was Andrew Holness. Cohen said he knows of one investors who had more than US $4 million in Olint. This is Andrew Holness. The Integrity Commission investigators pull out this information here. This here are Andrew Holness. This is Andrew Holness. So let me read it the way it's supposed to be read. Cohen said, right? He knows, based on the Integrity Commission investigator report as it relates to the amount of cash and fine, millions of dollars in Andrew Holness' account. Other business owners have put their working capital with Olent as a way to boost revenue. He suggested that the collapse of Olent could severely hurt some local business and would certainly reduce consumer spending. This is what Andrew Holness do to the economy. This is what Andrew Holness do with the economy by putting himself in a them Ponzi scheme here. I don't know, say Big Mama want to defend him, you know. Cohen said there are a number of Jamaicans who already have spent the high yield returns they thought they were getting from Olent because Olent tricked them that they are going to get 10% on their investment per month, which multiply as it relates to the year by 12. You have your money in Olent and you make it stay for the year, then of course, right, 120% that you're getting. 120% returns. So this is how Andrew Holness, you understand, and his conjured friend them scam the investors them, you know. This is how Andrew Holness and his conjured friend them scam the investors them. When they are no longer able to access their funds, it will lead to defaults on car and mortgage payments. Wicked. Wicked. Current concerns have been expressed by the others. Andrew Issa, a realtor who owns the Caldwell Banker franchise in Jamaica, told NCOF that he expects real estate prices to fall 10 to 12% because of the collapse of the investment scheme on the island. You see what Andrew Holness participated in. You understand that damage our economy. You see why him can't talk to Mystic Sensation. We don't want to hear nothing from him. That's why we say him need to resign. Him need to resign. All I need to do, resign. Issa said he already seen contracts being rescinded by people who lost money in various schemes. The CEO of International Asset Services told NCOF on July 18 that he has received a significant number of requests for bridge loans from those who could no longer access their funds in Olent. Them lack of the people their money, take away the people their money, thief the people their money. Smith has made public promises that he will make payment to investors within 9 months. All of that a lie. Not one of them get any money. There is still no firm figure of how much money was invested in Olent. Estimate range anywhere from US 200 million to as much as USD 750 million US dollars. You know, that they're robbing up. Andrew Holness, you're wicked, you know. Andrew Holness, you were a part of this scheme. Andrew Holness, you see the reason why you don't want to make the FinSac report release? You see the reason why you don't want to make the FinSac report release? How you figure do that? When everything are your shit all up in that. It's all about your shit up in that. As was discovered with other schemes that already have collapsed, that you also, Andrew Holness, involved in. And Darrell Vaz, remember, say you're in this story now. Every Ponzi scheme where Andrew Holness involved in, you in there now. These figures are often widely inflated. Holness' amount could be higher than other schemes. You hear that, people? You hear that? Back again, you know, the presentation that I presented in the last live talking about the $47 million there as it relates to coming out of the financial meltdown, you know. And we are now Andrew Holness, you understand, that have some capital to push in them Ponzi scheme, you know, people. And so then just look on the amount of money where Andrew Holness is going to get now. Because if you push $2 million in an arm Olent, let me ask you a question, Andrew Holness, the way you're wicked. Andrew Holness, let me ask you a question now, the way you're wicked now. Let me show the people them how you're wicked. You and your friend them come up with a scheme like this, promising investors 10% on their returns on a monthly basis. Now, you know Andrew Holness, right? You do that to catch them, you know. You understand? So all of the investors, them say, okay, all right. Me I put in a 2 million, me I put in a 3 million, me I put in a 5 million, me I put in a this, and me I make it run for the year. You understand? So me can maximize for my profit as it releases to 120%. You understand? Per my dividend. Now you Andrew Holness, right? When you get the $47 million, that's why I need to explain this, you know. You understand? And you push in, say, $4 million in a holding. Right? And you are going to be maximized by 110%. You see a spin off for you get? Eh? You see a spin off for you get? Because you automatically turn roughly about, you put in 4 million, you automatically turn out about $10 million right there, so. You don't think your investors you hurt Andrew Holness? Think of it. You don't think your investors you hurt? Because all of them investors that who put in them money, you lock them down. You and your friend them lock it down. And even when you benefited on your account, Olin still going to $5 million for the party, you know. Because you know allow him. And NCB, you understand, provide him safe net to run through NCB. Want to see the corruption? So then your Michael Leachin a link up for a long time. So your Michael Leachin can come up and cook up 5 and 4. Talk about the thing now, Andrew Holness. Your Michael Leachin can come up and cook up 5 and 4. You don't fail because of the scamming business you know. So not only that, you don't scam investors, you know, you don't scam the voters them too. So you don't scam investors and you know fully well how to scam the voters them. So you promise the voters them 5 and 4, where you know you're not going to deliver. Just like you promise the investors them 10%, you understand, on their dividend, which are to know you're not going to deliver and take with the people their money. And that's what you know, Andrew Holness. Now, after you learn about Olin, what you do, Andrew Holness? You go in a cash plus, can do the same damn thing in a cash plus, pushing heavy money in a cash plus. And what you do now? You your friend them lock down the people them money who invest in a cash plus, take with the people them money. And you smile again. And what you do again? You go back and you repeat it in a SSL. You your friend them, you your thieving friend them. You understand? Lock down the people them money, the investors' money, the crippled Jamaican economy. And you come out to the top about, hey, me say, if God was like man, him strike you with the lightning right when you're up on the stage. You're all dirty, wicked. Cohen said members of NCB staff, including renowned investor banker and chairman of NCB, Michael Leachin. Well, I'm not calling name in this. Well, on there. You want me cool off for a little bit, yeah. Yeah. Tell you no. Did they go on like, you know, involved? So when the Ponzi scheme up, right? Michael Leachin up and vibrant, right? Ponzi scheme I make money, yeah. Food I eat. All of my friend them, my big friend them, all right. You can buy a big yacht. And so then now, Andrew Holness see Michael Leachin with him big yacht. Andrew Holness buy a big yacht too, you know. People who remember say Andrew Holness buy a big yacht too, you know. Allow me to tell Andrew, you and your next friend, no make up and buy one big yacht. Eh? We don't either. You and your friend them no buy one big yacht. Where you either? Me show you how wicked and cruel to the Jamaican people. Wicked and cruel to the Jamaican people. Now, Cohen said members of NCB staff, including renowned investment banker and chairman of NCB, Michael Leachin, were receiving threats from those who blame NCB for holdings. Yes, threaten your backside, yes. Threaten your backside, yes. You forget threaten. Investment Bank and Chairman of NCB, Michael Leachin, were receiving threats from those who blame NCB for holding troubles. Yes. Let me take the call, yeah. You think I finished with him yet? Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Please go ahead.
Good night, Mystic.
Blessed night, my dear.
Yeah, good evening to you and your family.
Yes, my dear.
Thing you're talking about.
Yes.
With NCB Bank.
Yes.
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 I've got somebody beside me who personally lost his money.
There you go.
Closed the account, took the money, and telling him they don't know who closed it, and he didn't live in Jamaica.
Lot of wrongs they have done, people. Lot of wrongs, my sister.
Yeah, it's wrong, man. But you know, Mystic, these things have been going on for a long, long time, and because I think the reason why they get away with so much of it is because the jurisdiction system is so corrupted. You know, if a poor person takes one of these priorities to the court, they don't stand a chance.
They don't stand a chance, sister. I fully agree with you.
Agree with you. The barrister, some of the lawyer, them all them do eat all the people them money and laugh after them, and it's wrong.
It's wrong, of course. Fundamentally wrong. This has to be stopped. This must stop.
Yeah. You know where I'm calling from. Yeah, we are calling from England.
Yes, my dear.
And Andrew Holness, him thinks I'm going to get away with these things. And another thing that I would like all the countries that participated in the need of the Jamaican natives when the hurricane, call back for them money and call back for them sinking, because the money we get from England and from the taxpayers' money and get Andrew Holness don't even buy a biscuit out there and give the people them. The heads them want call back for the money, make him return the money, because if don't decide to spend it,
wicked.
So give it back.
Wicked.
Wicked? You lucky I called him wicked. Him is the lowest of the lowest. Him is worse than the serpent that crawl on the ground.
And the thing about it, sister.
Even locusts better than him. Even locusts better than him, because locusts have little pride. The money come out at
Yes.
night.
And the thing about it, sister, right? Coming out on social media talking about the people are not to listen to us because we are so seed of misinformation and disinformation. Are we make up them something, yeah? Them something where we are read, them something where we are research. How we make them up?
No, but it's there to be seen. It's there to be seen. The natives them are complain. The people them live on the tarpaulin.
Let's look at that.
Yeah, you know, last night there was a conversation that took place here, right? And it boiled down that we even have to say the PDSA where you take sick animals in England too, if your animal is sick. They place them better than the hospital where Jamaica human beings supposed to go. Because when you go into somebody PDSA, you know me love them push you to shame.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very wrong what he's doing. It's very wrong what he's doing. But I said this before and I'm saying it again. Juliet Holness, you is a mother. Andrew Holness, you is a father. And you're going to tie your belly because the sins, what you're doing to these poor natives, their tears will not go in vain. Mystic, you know, see every day and wake up is another shame and disgrace.
Exactly.
Every day that man wake up is another shame and disgrace. Yes? Right? They scam people money, them take away people money, them do this, them do that, them do the other. Right? Crossley and all of them, they've been doing these things for many, many years. But you know, them said time longer than rope.
Time longer than rope, my sister.
Come in upon them now.
All right. That's why we say no.
Their rope is coming in on them now.
That's why we say no. Representative of the United States, them the panel one eye, sister. You think I'm joking?
Yes. And the whole United States, you know, don't kid yourself, you know.
Yes.
You think say England now what?
All right.
You think say England now what?
Them under pressure, sister. Them under pressure. All the rest of them are going with.
Supposed to under pressure them, yes, because them is damn
damn thief. Yes? And you know the next thing that the Jamaica people them want to open them ears, you hear me talk about ID. You know this ID business, you know I go up a Mystic, you see
Yes.
Upper Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Berkside. I hope they learn to go walk like when Red Rum I go to beaches broke. Because I'm going to take with the people them land because I'm going to say them not have no deeds, them not have no deeds, them not have no that.
But sister,
I don't have words for
but sister, if I don't know how long you have been following us, but remember me tell them, sister, say it was going to go to that, a land grabbing automatically. I go on this, sister. Remember, say yes, I spoke about it time and time again, and see that it happened. The very same thing that I've spoken about. See it, it happened. It happened.
You've all said it. You've all said it. But you see, the thing is now, right? Because, I mean, the opposition, I think they could be a bit strong. But, you know, I feel them to do something on the PQ, you know, when it both.
Yes. Yes, man. We have excellent opposition like Isaac Buchanan. Majority of them in terms of I know. You understand? They are doing and remember that they are on the PASC. You understand, the public administration accounts, so them can see what are going on in terms of how the money being utilized. Yes.
I also feel, right, that now they've come up against MPs that are not fools.
Yes, them have a problem.
Them don't know where to turn.
Exactly. Yeah? Exactly.
And Damien Crawford, you see that Damien Crawford there?
Yeah, man,
he might have his way.
Mr. Makaman.
You know, so I make him look shamed dead again. You know, so you make them look shamed dead again in the other parliament.
Exactly. Exactly, man. We are all them, man. We are all them to account.
Yes, but you have to. You have to.
Yes.
Look at the state of the country. Look at, you're all right, Mystic, right? You are a born Jamaican, you live in other country. Yes?
Yes.
I heard that I've heard you say you have your Airbnb in Jamaica. Right?
Yes.
Now, you have your grandchild coming or your great-grandchild coming. You could have said to your granddaughter, say, you know what, me go give you a little change and you go buy a piece of land and build. You couldn't do it, Mystic.
Exactly.
Because they're not safe.
Exactly.
They're not safe. And the corruption. But the corruption I broke little by little.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway, continue your show.
Thank you, my
say
sister.
Good evening to your wife because I noticed she's not there.
Oh, yes.
And we'll talk again.
All right. Thank you. And keep safe, my sister.
All right, my love.
Blessings.
And you, my love.
All right. Bye. All right. So let me get back to you now, Andrew Holness. You come along them. Right? Cohen said members of NCB staff, including renowned investment bank and chairman of NCB, Michael Leachin, were receiving threats from those who blame NCB for holding struggles. Yes. Right? NCB is to be blamed. The same situation occurred in December 2007. Listen, you know, when NCB was blamed by investors who lost money in the now failed Ponzi scheme Cash Plus. So now you tell me now, NCB, this is the argument when we have with you. Now, let me ask you a question now. So NCB, you started out with holding, you understand, and provide safety net. You understand, for holding criminal them. And you realize, say, okay, investors get hurt. Investors get hurt, you know. Investors get hurt, you know. And in the 2007 again, you have facilitated, you understand, Ponzi scheme, Cash Plus criminal them. And I say it, you know. Just imagine, you run Olin run them account through your system. And you realize that investors get hurt. And people threaten you. But you don't stop. You understand? You continue with Cash Plus. And me I say this. Allow me to tell you. See it now. See it. The same situation occurred in December 2007. And me I say, when NCB was again blamed by investors who lost money in the now failed Ponzi scheme Cash Plus. Remember, you know, you mix up in a whole bank around in NCB. and Michael Leachin. You, Michael Leachin. Mix up. You know the whole bang around, you know. So Michael Leachin, let me ask you a question. Are you, particularly you, that provide safety net for them in a NCB? Show you big and you hold most of the shares in a NCB. Me I ask you, Michael Leachin, me not blame you, you know. May I ask you if you are the person who are providing safety net for Ponzi scheme doers, you understand, to use your system, your banking system, as a way to do what? Defraud people out of their money. May I ask question? I must not blame you, you know. May I ask question? Prime Minister Bruce Golding told the ambassador on July 20 that Michael Leachin had cancelled an upcoming trip to Jamaica because of threats to shoot down his helicopter. The people who are threatening you to shoot you down. Yes. So you cancel. I mean, no, say a lie you tell for the people, you know. All who are going to run, you run off to cool it out. And I tell lie because you know want to come to Jamaica. Because you know what you have done. So you can't concoct this a liar. If you talk about people are saying threat to shoot down your helicopter, what then go shoot down your helicopter with? Eh? What then go shoot down your helicopter with? For sure, you know. For sure, as I ask you, Michael Leachin. Because when the Ponzi scheme them strong, you know, you're strong, you know. And when the Ponzi scheme them weak, you're weak, you know. We didn't notice the pattern there, you know. See, SSL, you mash down and get weak. And see, you get weak and flatten out and you sell back all of your yacht. When holding strong, you go buy a yacht, you know. When holding strong and a go on, you know, buy a yacht. Eh? When SSL strong and a go on, you know, buy a yacht too. So then you know, see one pattern exists with you. So when the Ponzi scheme them strong, you strong. And when the Ponzi scheme them weak, get weak, you get weak. So I don't know. Are you the oligarch for the Ponzi scheme? Me only ask. NCB was ordered by the Court of Appeals on July 18 to keep Olen's accounts open. Justice Seymour Panton ruled the bank lacked the power to close the account since there is no evidence of any proven illegal transaction in respect of conduct of operations of accounts. I want to open it and the people and take away the whole of the people their money. Eh? This is how you use no big liar when you get in trouble. Because you know what I'm doing. So you have no big liar, you understand, to make them eat food. And the big liar them come down now because them big, bad and powerful and mighty. And then the licky police them in bed with them. Yes, the licky police in bed with them. So, you know, it's a men's club. Men's club. Yes. The elites club. Now, the government of Jamaica has warned investors for months of the inherent risk of putting money in unregulated alternative investment schemes. The government of Jamaica ordered several investment schemes to come into compliance by registering with the FSC in December 2007. Now, while the government do this, you have government ministers like Andrew Holness in it. I don't know what we wicked on this. Right? Meanwhile, them do this, you know. Wicked Bruce Golding know everything what them are doing. And know say Andrew Holness in it, you know. And the same Olin give them $5 million, you know. And what you think? When them in them nastiness and then dirty mess, then try to put the PNP in it. Try to pull the PNP in it. You can show me something now, you understand? As it relates to any PNP one who can identify and put in the mix up. because that's what no lie and stay. You understand the wickedness what we do upon the country. Now, most of the schemes collapsed soon after including the now infamous Cash Plus Reftails. Olint was able to continue through legal loopholes. You hear that? And this is what Andrew Holness and the GLP manipulate with Daryl Vaz mix up in this, you know. Daryl Vaz, the whole of them mix up in this. But opted to move its headquarters to Turks and Caicos. Minister of Finance Adli Shah told Ambassador Adli Shah, you should have shame yourself. Eh? You should have shame yourself. Because you know borrow money and they have to bail you out. Eh? I say the whole I want to mix up in the nastiness. Boy, trust me, I don't like GLP dirty. Johnson on July 16 that Olin failed to come into compliance. Then hold on there. NCB should have known, say. Olin never in a compliance. NCB should have known, say. Cash Plus not in a compliance. NCB should have known, say. SSL not in a compliance. But this a bang around. I'm going to take off my glasses there because it's just running on my head. Hey! So NCD, let me ask you a question. So based on the charges, when we see the fling out on SSL, let me take off my glasses there. Now ask you this. Because we just know say SSL never have no security license, you know. So me ask a question NCB. So you have you cross carry to put billions of dollars in your bank and don't have no license. Hey, a bang around this year. People who not say this a bang around here. Eh? Investigators who make sure say who know say NCB to be pursued in this, you know. I want to know because if me bring $1 million to Jamaica, NCB and any other bank is going to ask me for a source. How did I come by the $1 million? And I have to show them, right, documentation as it relates to how I come legitimately to obtain that. But SSL no have a security license under the Security Act and has not been registered under the Banking Act. And you do them a mega transaction that you NCB and NCB no find out that. So then let me ask a question. Then NCB, you openly, are you openly washing money for Ponzi schemes? Eh? Are you openly washing money for Ponzi schemes? As I said, when the Ponzi scheme weak, Michael Leachin weak. When the Ponzi scheme strong, Michael Leachin strong. Whenever the Ponzi scheme strong, Michael Leachin by yacht. But as soon as them crumble and mash down, yacht sell. I like me tell, and I'm say it. Me show you the document, show you the information. Right? So let me take this away. Criminal. Now my Jamaican people. When you see the history, right? As it relates to NCB caught up into the whole debacle, where the Ponzi scheme, right, coming from out of the financial meltdown, and who are the players into the financial meltdown. Then I'm asking you, Andrew Holness, for clarity and transparency and good governance, right? But you know, release the FinSac report. Come. But what I can't understand is, all right, see a caller, and a caller call me. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
I'm Mr. Byron. Good evening. Watch you all the time, but first time calling. Now you are
Blessing, my sister. Blessing to you, my sister, and Happy New Year for you and the family.
Yeah, Happy New Year too, and your beautiful wife and your family. I am a victim of this Ponzi scheme with Olin and Cash Plus. I still have my papers after all these years.
Wow.
Now that you're through, because I could send a copy of all the papers that I have from Cash Plus.
Wow.
So Cash Plus, $10 million.
Wow.
And Olin robbed me $10,000 US.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Since you are here and you have accounts with these entities, what was it that influenced you to join in?
You know, it was a friend of mine who was in it, a very popular known name in Jamaica.
Yes. Oh, you're going in and out. Okay, the call drop off. Somehow the call drop. Caller, if you have the time and you can call back, please do. Right, we'd really like to have a conversation with you. However, the call had fallen through. So I am saying, right, okay, Andrew Holness, because you run out on the campaign on so many occasions, right? And you spoke about, you understand, PNP is so wicked because they are dealing with the greatest transfer from the poor to the rich. And you cannot show me a PNP who involved in terms of getting any benefit. And then here it is that you, as a primary principal in all of this, you don't miss out. Not one, you don't miss out on not one of the Ponzi scheme. Right? And not only that, you benefited personally. It's also that the Jamaica Labour Party itself benefited. So then, how do you, and here it is, where you caught up in all sort of bangarang, right? Your statutory declaration cannot be certified, right? And if you are to look on your entire political history in terms of corruption from ever since, right? You have been working with Edward Seaga, right? And that is why it is important. You see why it is important, Andrew Holness, when we talk about the $47 million that you told Abka Fitz-Henley about, how important it is for the nation to understand where did you get that $47 million from. It is very, very important. You can't say that you are telling lies, and we weren't the one who said it. We are definitely the ones who are reading it. You understand, based on our research and the documents that we found. But you now need to come out to the Jamaican people and explain, which you're not going to do. And which definitely you're hiding. Because let us face the fact, Andrew Holness. If the Integrity Commission for over the umpteen of years, right? And they are not going way back as it relates to your statutory declaration, right? So then, let us talk about the statutory declaration between 2020 and 2023 going up. Cannot be certified. The 2024 cannot be certified. The 2025 cannot be certified, right? Now, for the sake of good country, do I need to tell the Jamaican, hold on, a caller come in. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Byron, it's me calling you back.
Okay, all right. Thank you for calling back.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I am a victim also of cash flow. I lose $10 million in all. I lose $10 million in you, all in Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
$10 US from Olin.
Yes.
And I went in there because of a well-known man in Jamaica. He died now because they shoot him in Jamaica in his driveway and he died.
Yeah.
And when Cross was going down, I went to him. I didn't talk to any representative. When he took me to Mr. Carlos here. I went to Mr. Carlos here when he was in New Kingston near to the JB Bank. That's where I first met him when I signed up.
The second time I met with him was on Alborn Road in New Kingston when they was shutting it down and everybody was going after him for their money. And he told me that he have the money. I'm not supposed to worry because I told him I need my money back. So he say I'm not supposed to worry because the money was offshore. And he's certain that I'm going to get back my money. Until this day from 2007, I haven't got back my money. When they closed him down and he couldn't do business, the last time I spoke to him is when the last check I got from him was for $1 million, and I stayed. I have to go to Andy Park Road down by the NCB. That I was living in Jamaica at the time, because I went back to live there for a while, for around 12 years. And I went to Andy Park Road to the bank, and I stayed there till around 8 o'clock. Because when the bank was closed, who was supposed to get a check, they went there and they get it. That's where I get the last check. And then after that, the gentleman take me to him when he was in New Kingston, and he said, okay, fine, he's going to let me get my money. I don't know where that man turned until to the day. Then, no, before that, I went to the meeting at Mergrove. We did have a meeting at Mergrove. I see him there too. He convinced me that I'm going to get back my money when he had the meeting in Mergrove High School. And from that, it's just nothing after that. I can't find him. Because worse, this gentleman died. I didn't know where to find nobody because he was the one who bring me there. And I still have my papers and I don't know what's going on.
Well, the only thing I could say, right, in terms of, right, a lawyer, have you guys ever think about, carrying out an action lawsuit, a class action lawsuit on these entities?
Yeah, I have other people because I have other friends that go in there and lose their money too. One of my friends on Arkansas Spring Road, she lose her house because she took out a mortgage and she lose her house. Her husband lose so much millions of dollars. I have another friend who live in even there where I used to live. She lose her money too. But there's not a lot of people who willing to challenge them, and because I don't know how to go about it, I didn't go about it because me alone just cannot file a lawsuit. I'm willing to testify for my money.
Well, what needs to be done. If you can have a couple of those people who you know, right, and you can come together in terms of getting a lawyer, right, and particularly, right, if when we talk about other currency involved, right, from that perspective, if you bring out a lawsuit, right, that is possible, right, to get some resolution in the matter.
Yeah, but from Carlos, it was free. Nobody know where it is. Nobody hear nothing about it. So where do I find the gentleman and what do I do?
That's a very good question. And so then this is where you have to might be have the sort of person who would help with that. It's some like private investigators who can maybe track him down, right, and try to establish where he is. That is the work of private investigators.
Because it was in Jamaica, I bring my money to Jamaica, US dollars, and I spend US and Jamaican currency with him.
Yes.
And I still have my proof until today because I still want to know how do I get back my $10,000 US and how do I get back my $10 million because I still have my proof and my papers all in Antigua. Where do I go?
Okay, so are you in the United States?
Yeah, I live in the United States for over 40 years, but I went back to Jamaica to live to raise my children, and then everybody get grown, and I come back.
Okay, all right. I would suggest if you have like if you can get in touch with a couple others who you know, right, particularly if they are in the United States, right, and speak to might be a senator there to guide you on the process, because remember, United States dollars involved.
I am living in Maryland now, so where do I go?
All right, if you can, one of the first things you can do, if you can get some other people, right, and then you all, right, try to speak with a senate or speak with a lawyer where that is concerned.
But they seem to be scared. Nobody wants to stand up. They're scared. They lose their money.
No. I am not talking about Jamaican lawyer,
No, I'm talking about the people that I know. They just give up.
Okay, well, but this is something that you should be that you can pursue on your own, right?
Okay.
This is something that you can pursue on your own. It is not necessary that you have to have them. It's just to the fact that if you have if more than one of you would provide better strength.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, because said you have X amount of people who got right shafted out of their money, right? We are talking about US currency and so forth. That is very much important. That is very serious, right? And you can, pursue from there, but you have to ask, get in touch, bring a lawyer there, right? And tell them as it relates to your situation, your experience, and they will best advise you. The thing about it, I cannot give you such advice because I am not a lawyer, right? So that is not my faculty. I'm a criminal justice person. So it would be best speak. That is not my skill area. I'm not a lawyer. So the best person who you can speak with, right? Speak with a lawyer and have an understanding, and then follow the lawyer instruction in that regards. But what I believe, if you're bringing out litigations against this, more unlikely that it is not like you have to talk about the burden of proof and the burden of proof where you have to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, right? You have a lower threshold to meet. So in a civil action, you understand, more unlikely you can win this thing. But as I said, right, that is not my expertise, right? And I can't give you, right, expert opinion on this situation. Sorry.
My representative in my area where I live.
Yes. Speak to a lawyer and just do a look research in terms of, financial lawyers who are very good at this, right? And do some, utilize Google and see, right, those who really have the experience in that area, and try to hook up. But I would say if I were you, I would try as much as possible to see if I can get 3 other persons with me, or 5 and 2 other persons, and you understand, we'll put a little thing together and so forth. But as I said, people are scared. Some people don't want to come forward, and this is the problem, and that is why them continue to get away with them thing here, That is why them continue to get away.
My girlfriend got messed up with it, but she's scared too. She don't want to get involved because she has to go back to Jamaica. But I really don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do, but I don't know.
Because you lose the money, getting $10,000 US not easy to come.
Yeah, and then 10 million US Jamaican dollars is very hard too.
Yeah. So you have a right to proceed, right?
Because I haven't heard, Carlos is I haven't heard nothing about it since the court set him free, and why they set him free with all this money, I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something. You have to understand white collar crime, and the mixing up on people who getting taste out of the pie, and the same sponsor the Jamaica Labour Party $5 million US.
I was there when they did that, and they took it and by helicopter, and then right
after
that, as soon as Bruce Golding come in, he got $5 million, and they buy helicopter and everything, and we were standing at Africa. All of thousands of people was at Africa.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Because of Patterson was in, but as Bruce Golding come in, everything just turned haywire.
Exactly. Right? Because, it is what it is, sister. So I would tell you to pursue it in that regards.
Okay, I'm going to try and go to my representative office.
Yes.
Because I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Labourite. I've never voted in Jamaica. I was too young to vote in Jamaica.
Yes.
I'm not a MP, I'm nothing. I'm just a people person. I'm a Jamaican person.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we have to stand up, because when is this going to stop? When are we going to get dismantled and robbed and take advantage of, and nobody stand up for us?
Exactly. Well, you see, sister, other persons in the chat, Colleen is saying the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is also a start.
Okay.
But, do what you have to do, right? Because when you speak to those persons who have the expertise, they will, best to advise you. I wouldn't tell you to take advice from a vlogger, right, who don't have the experience in terms of, right, the knowledge or you know, that is not his faculty, you understand, to be giving you advice. I wouldn't advise you to be taking any advice from vloggers.
No. But I'm listening and I'm watching and I'm still wondering because it's a lot of things going on in Jamaica and nobody getting justice from that thing. And I'm very upset because Andrew get my money. He has my money. I know that for sure. He has everybody's, but I'm certain. But that it's not back his money and we don't get back our money. So
seek professional advice, my sister, right? Get the best information, and you understand, I would say, right, if you can, you know, have other persons, you understand, come in on the program that you are utilizing, you understand, I know, you know, you just party together, unite together, you understand, and just execute. I would have done that.
Yeah, I'm going to call the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I'm going to call
Yes.
the first thing money not here with it.
Exactly.
Because I am an American citizen, so I have my right.
Of course, you have your right. You have your right, of course. All right. So I hope I can help you in the best way I can. Right?
Yeah, if you want to call me and give me some instruction, I will take it from you. I would surely appreciate it.
Exactly.
Numbers, and you can call me and we take it from you.
All right. Okay.
You have a good one. Love you and your wife and your family.
Same to you, my dear. Blessings. All right. All right. Okay. So yes, people, my wonderful people, no, so I have to come back in the evening with me a melting pot, mashing down certain things. So here what happened now, we are going to wrap up the evening program. We even gone over because the program is so nice, right? And the people are so nice, right? So it's a wonderful, and I like how the chat is so interactive, right? People participate and so forth, right? I love that. So I want to say, right, thanks to you all, right, to pass through with Mystic Sensation, right? We will have a 1 and 2 discussion, right, and vibes out, right, and see how much, you know, we can move the country forward as we all seek good governance. I want to say, bless yourself, walk good until later. Love you all. Blessings. I'm out. All right.
I don't want you to come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister around the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.